No, yeah.
Apusha.
Akula. There's a scene where today people think that I kiss Nashoko in Perfect Picture. But I place my lip just the side here. And we're twisting and turning, but the camera angle does the trick. I remember there was a scene, a production that was done, and a doctor came to watch. Like after the production, I was like, Adjetey, Charlie, you guys, they mess up the professional. The hospital scene, the setup in the ward, it would look like they go do brain surgery. Meanwhile, they were treating malaria.
I hear you met your wife on set.
On set, yeah.
When you were doing
Things to Do for Love. And Things to Do for Love, we were like a family, and so we all had, we were able to connect as a family. And so when later on we met on campus at Legon, and I was like, oh, excited to see you. And then that's where the friendship started building, and then he blossomed into something else. And, like the first time I walked into church, in one church, some guy saw me who was just coming. We had clothes, and he was coming, and then he saw, "Hey, Pusha, what's over? Sorry." I mean, there are people who just approach me, and they're like, they put their sons away from me, and all that stuff. They stay away from me.
They used to use you to advise us. Don't be like Pusha. During the acting, do people catch feelings?
It's up to you to know. I mean, the two adults involved here, and I think that we must be responsible for the choices we're making, because it easily can lead to a relationship.
Once upon a time, every child in Ghana was walking like this man, trying to be like him and mimic his style and everything. And so many years later, we've seen the transformation, and we've seen him be like different from the person we knew him on screen as. And I'm here. It's a pleasure being here with him, Adjetey Anang. Senior man.
Yeah, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wanted to say this like a long time ago. Apusha.
Yeah, man.
Those were like, as a child, me self, then I walk like you, I try to be like you and things. But we'll get to that side of the conversation,
nice.
whether you approve that or not.
Right.
Now, Adjetey Anang as a boy, what was your childhood like, and what were your dreams at that time?
So just before I go into that, I also want to tell you that it's a privilege finally seeing your head, because we've lived with not knowing what your head looks like and your face looks like. So it's an honor. So yeah, yes. Adjetey Anang, growing up, I mean, I was in a space where parents normally would decide what you would do, because apart from they paying the bills, they were calling the shots. And in the era that I grew up in, most parents would have some businesses, that were building, and the succession story of, well, you are going to take over and continue the family name with the business. And that was the era in which I was caught in. Daddy has some businesses on the side going on. He was at cocoa processing company. That was Cocoa Products. That was his name. Those times, and he was a biochemist, and so naturally the tendency of me going to that direction, he dropped hints of that. And so I didn't really have any, let's say, personal dreams, as it were. I was looking up to Daddy, as we did, and so I didn't have any. I was just looking up to him, basically, if I'm to answer your question.
Right. And do you come from would you say you come from a rich background, a rich family, like everything sorted? Those who go to UK for holidays and
right. I mean, I grew up believing that. I mean, when you look at the average, the neighborhood in which we find ourselves, like in Community 10, and when I look at, I cast my eye around, and even where we're caught up between the nuclear family, bougie. With the mother is German, father is Ghanaian, and so half caste kind of thing. And then to our left is the house with the smoke never dies. There's always action there, dramatic, very compound house setting. I said we're average. I'll put us average. I mean, of course, we were a lot more privileged than others down the line, because Daddy, was very particular about his car and he wanted to get every new car.
Okay.
And we're attending SOS school. Not everybody in that neighborhood, attended SOS. And I think that we were okay. Not rich, but we're okay. In my days, I thought that we were, but I grew up to find out that it was a fallacy. It was no close to that.
Like you grow up and you realize your parents were really trying.
They're trying.
Because
They're trying.
now I understand. I'm at a point where now I understand why my dad used to come home and just sit down quietly and watch 7 o'clock news. And after that, we just go and stand outside and look at the stars small. Yeah. Now I understand why. At first I thought, this my dad's like...
I know, right?
Yeah. And your dad was a biochemist?
Yes.
And your mom?
My mom was a librarian. So library, she worked at the Ghana Library Board. And, that was the one who was the more... going and coming, he's always out of town and that kind of thing. Very ambitious guy.
Yeah.
And mom was a calm person, she rather would lead by example. She said very little, but her actions spoke louder. And so we more like gravitated towards my mom because dad would just come. What did we do? He doesn't ask questions. He will lash us, and he doesn't explain. You'll be there eating, and he come in, not give you a heavy knock. And say, last week that thing that you did. Actually,
those guys discipline.
It was just too rigid and strict. But this was the family setting.
And then from SOS, which senior high did you attend?
So in my days we had the old system, which was the O level, A level.
Okay.
And so it happened that had to change businesses, and so we had to move into Accra, and then he had a contract in the US, so we had to go, so we ended up living with my grandparents, and then I went to Labone Secondary School, and that's where secondary school was for me. Then I moved into Legon, and then I did my master's in Joburg. Basically, that was my school life.
And how was secondary school like in your day?
I mean, it's interesting that I was more of the laid back kind of person. I mean, when you have a crowd, you wouldn't even spot me. Very observant, would hardly talk. I mean, even if it's in classroom, I hardly raise my hand and all that. Just in the background kind of person. I didn't want attention, cool guy. And so secondary school had a number of people who took to liking me. I was quiet. I didn't want trouble. And unfortunately, it was the bad guys who really took to protecting me.
The bad guys,
loved my company somewhat. And I also kind of like their company to the extent that even when it comes to maybe drinking or smoking, when they pass the just around, they say, hey, make no give up.
They wanted, when someone is passing the jot to
and it gets to me, they're like, hey, make it no give up, pass. That kind of thing. If you're drinking, you don't go drink some, that kind of thing. And I didn't really know why because I thought that I wanted that sense of belonging. Me too, they put Jordan that go do some. But Charlie, two of the guys there, they're like, hey, but I know go do some.
Were those your seniors or your mates?
They're my mates. I mean, they were bigger and thicker than me, of course, but they saw me as like their junior brother, even though they were my mates, and they were loud and very dramatic and everything. So they saw me as more like their younger brother, sort of.
Were you ever pushed, like, fine, if you're with them, you want it, and they say no.
They say no.
So did you ever do it in your own free time?
I tried it because I also wanted to experience it. I did. In those days, you felt like if they're talking on the subject of smoking or drinking, you have something to say. What was the experience like? How did they feel? You can't lie about it because everybody's done it. So on my own, I'll try it. I think the first time when I tried it, I coughed so badly. I was like, what is this? But as for the drinking, I think it was one visitor who had visited from home. They had, they left. Daddy was going to see them off, and then the under, Charlie. So because when I look at their faces, they enjoy the thing. They enjoy the alcohol. Then just about some quarter, I just grabbed the thing. I was like, That's since then I was like beer.
And was it like hard liquor or beer?
I think it was beer because I think I can remember the foamy thing, But I think my mind was telling me it would be something sweet. Like Muscatella, because we're used to that. So when it hits me, I was like, damn, what is this?
What's this that the adults are drinking and they're happy like that?
They are drinking.
Did that affect you down the line? Like affect your decision to drink or smoke?
No,
or
not at all. It was when I grew up, when I was more responsible. I knew what I wanted and what I didn't. So school days, drinking was not an issue at all because that thing still was in there. Like, this is not okay. It doesn't taste anything nice. So why should I engage?
Right. Now, after school, where did that decision come in to focus on maybe theater and stuff?
So I would say, look, I developed the likeness for film, drama, and all that, mainly because I think of my uncles, two of my uncles who introduced me to Indian film and Chinese film.
Okay,
and even though I didn't understand, I was excited about young boys, and then later on I got to know. I think that every video that they had, there was a making of the movie. And all that, we interview the actors and all that. I'm like, I get to know the characters behind some of the actors behind the characters that I'm like, Charlie, sometimes they are not even close to what they do. And I thought it was exciting. So I was picking up all this likeness and all that. And so this thing came by accident because I knew that in my mind, Daddy was trying to draw me towards that line of sciences. But Charlie, I looked at Poppy's life. Poppy's life was just one-way traffic. It was work, home. If there's any social activity, then it has to be funeral, outdooring, family kind of thing. It was just a boring life. And unfortunately for him, I had been exposed to daddies in movies who were more exciting. They are taking their children to parks, to picnics and stuff. They're carrying some of them on their shoulder, even when they are bigger, things like that. I'm like, that's the kind of daddy I want. So I thought that maybe the sciences has something to do with daddies. They shape them into something different, nerds or something. And so I thought that, Charlie, just let me give him the grace. When it's time to do a decision, I'll take my own decision. Right. So even at the point where I had my first introduction into drama, I still wasn't sure what I really wanted to do. I just knew that when I watched the movie, I found fulfillment and all that. Then I had the opportunity to go to GBC. One friend of mine, Wakefield, is a deputy commissioner of culture currently. And he said I should accompany him for a rehearsal. And those times we had a rehearsal, theater drama, TV theater it was called. So I went to this place and then there was Sefakai, Fedamugi, and all those actors. I was like, wow. And those days, there was no social media. And so you either run into these people in town or you go to events. That's when you see them.
Those days, they were big.
They were big, huge, know. And I'm like, hey, Charlie, there's a fuck we hear it of. He's here, Feda Boogie, all those guys are so excited to see them, obviously. And so, they were doing a script then. And then one actor had not turned up. So then I said, I should read that part for the others to rehearse. So me too, I told her, hey, Charlie, the way I see people, in movies and stuff, let me do my best. And I read it like convincingly with attitude and everything. When I finished, people were looking at me and I'm like, hey, Charlie, have you done the actor? I said no. So they were so excited. And so the director was like, he promises to give me the role if I come back next time. Of course, I didn't believe that. I just wanted to come again to see the Freda Mugis and stuff. But lo and behold, that actor didn't turn up and they gave me the role and that started the process.
He didn't come at all.
By some design, I don't know.
That's life.
That's life, Charlie. That was the opportunity that I had, and then boom, I had my first TV, official.
Was that which movie was that?
So this was TV theater. It was Thursday theater. Okay. It was a drama, like maybe they do like Dobra and also for that kind of thing. Yeah. The English version was on Thursdays, and that projected me into the space. Wow. And then everybody was like, Charlie, make a try see. Then I ended up National Theater. Then it started,
And I saw that you. Were you in Deadly Voyage?
Yes, I was. Not as an actor, but as a stand-in. So I was a stand-in for Omar Epps. Now, what the stand-ins do normally is that the actors are in their cabins and in cubicles waiting, and then the camera, light, sound is tested on us. So I will play the role of Omar Epps. They'll tell me the directions which I go and everything. They'll test the sound, light, and everything. And then once it's done, we get off, make way for the actors who come in, they're briefed, and then the shoot starts. Okay. So that was what I was on that production. Yeah.
Throughout the entire production.
Yes.
So basically, you acted
Oh yeah, but just that,
Just that your face didn't shoot.
yeah, but
but
behind the scenes,
But behind the scenes, you were doing the whole thing. So inside the ship and things.
Yeah, we did.
Wow,
it was exciting.
Wow.
I mean,
and that movie too is big. How did you feel like when the movie came out and you saw how big it was?
It was huge for me. I think I think what even I can't forget is the stipends that we got. Okay. And I'm like, what? This is what I did. I don't know amount that they gave me, and then I don't remember the exam, but it was a lot
because it was a foreign production.
Okay. But even then, information that reached me was that Charlie, the Ghana people teeth top small. The G top grass. This thing I will get more than that. It was little that I got to know.
This thing Ghanaians do.
Charlie.
When I was in school.
Yeah.
We heard that there was a production.
Right.
They were coming to do a funeral scene.
Okay.
And they needed some people just to fill in as extras. Yeah, so our campus boys, everybody come out your black top and let's go let's go and take the funeral scene. We went. We thought we were just going to stand there like small. Before we realized the whole day,
Charlie,
we went from the cemetery to some estates to go and do another procession, shooting and stuff. They were blowing things on people's eyes so that they cry and all that. And when we finished, they gave us 10 cedi. And we found out later. That we were supposed to get 25.
Charlie. Go theater.
That thing they do there is not good.
Yeah, I mean, it was just...
But even the little you got...
Even then, Charlie, I was okay. You couldn't even get angry because, okay.
Were you ever like somehow disappointed that your face didn't show in the movie?
Charlie, those days... Given that I wasn't known that much, it was a big opportunity for me, and I thought that it was the beginning. So I was excited. I mean, I thought that even if my face would show, then I wasn't prepared enough to really give something. I think that sometimes we need to know what we're able to do and not rush. And then they give you the opportunity that you mess it up. And that one, everybody remember that, so you have to be prepared before. And I thought that I wasn't well baked to have that platform, so it was good that I was bidding my time and learning behind the scenes. Small. Yeah.
And at least you learned something from there.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Things we do for love is what really got you out there.
Yeah.
I heard it was a radio. It
started with radio.
Started with radio. The same acting, the scripting and everything.
Yes.
But for radio.
Yes. For
Which radio station was it on?
It was on Joy. Joy FM then. Yeah. And I mean the host we did I think a season or two, and then it caught interest because now we had taken the subject, the sensitive subject of reproductive health issues, sex, and all that that were very uncomfortable for parents and children to discuss onto that public space, and people really were excited about it. People wanted to get on board, and then it came to the point where they're like, why don't we expand it into TV and do a series out of it? So that's where it was birthed and went onto the screen.
But on radio, were you playing the same role?
So no, I wasn't playing the same role. On radio, I think I was playing BB. I was playing BB.
I can imagine you that way. I don't think. Anyway,
I was playing BB, and then when they decided to go on TV, then the director Ivan Kwashika said I should switch roles. I should take up Pusha. I was like, Charlie,
that time who was doing Pusha on radio?
I don't remember who was doing Pusha. Charlie Cheo. This was the 1990. 19, there about late 90s, but I don't remember who was doing Pusha. I think it must have been late Jacob Eche Lamte's son or so. But I was doing a BB, so Ivan said I should switch when it came to TV. Of course, I thought he was joking because this is the character that my parents have warned me about. My family members have warned me
the
Pusha character.
On radio, they didn't want you to do Pusha.
Even if radio, TV, everything, I shouldn't play bad boy characters, But people will sort of align me with the character and say that I'm the person, And we thought that we had an issue that hadn't grown yet. People didn't really understand that if you're playing a role, you're not the person. People think that you are what you're playing. And so, why should I go and play a bad character? I should play good ones. There are so many out there, So I wasn't comfortable at all, saying yes to that. But somehow he thought that I would bring it out more. And But then I had just been introduced into acting and all that. I was doing the National Theatre and all that. I was learning the techniques around it and all that. So I threw myself a challenge to really make the character live. And of course, with the inclusion from the writer, Eddie Sedo, and the director's guidance, I mean, we made the character live, yeah.
Was there ever a scene in there that you weren't comfortable with? Like maybe something that Pusha, the character, was supposed to do and you were like, nah, director, this one, some way.
You see, once I accepted to do the character, and I knew that the character, to a large extent, had no limits. I mean, bad boy, very bad boy, unless stuff that we can really show on TV. I was willing to engage, and knowing that there was a clear distinction between who Adjetey was and who Pusha was. And so once I'm done with it, I get back into my Adjetey. And so you can't hold me responsible for playing that character because it's not me, you know. So that was my defense. And therefore, I didn't really find anything. And fortunately for me, I had a director who was also very down to earth and understood, you know, what you know, how far he could push us and all that. He was also very careful because it was one of the newest things that looked at youth specifically, you know. He was also very, very careful not to cross certain lines, you know, because we wanted more people to sort of come on board and get what we're trying to sell and the message. So he was very careful not to go beyond certain lines so that people would be offended, and then, you know, it would sort of let patronage, you know, go down. So it was a good.
Sometimes when actors, they say the character leaks. Like you play a character so much that now in your real life you find yourself being influenced by that character. Did it happen to you? Like maybe randomly now you're walking and you're walking like this.
No, there was a conscious effort not to try and have Pusha's mannerisms or gestures or you know, the way to leak into Adjetey, because I think that the public also had a way of playing a role in that, and where people believed that I was the character. You know, like the first time I walked into church, in one church, I'll mention the churches, and then some guy saw me who was just coming, we had clothes, and he was coming, and then he saw, hey, Pusha, what's over, sorry? You know, I was like, Jack. I mean,
because Pusha, they're bad boy, be the sport, be
but the person who needs healing, who goes to the hospital, I mean, you come, you know, so I come to church, you know, kind of thing. So, of course, he caught himself unawares. He was trying to apologize, like, oh, he was joking, but you know, people felt that or believed that I was the character, and so then there was a conscious effort not to really, you know, confirm what their perceptions or beliefs were by trying to live Adjetey's character and try and make sure that, you know, we had power. There's nothing that is Adjetey, that is Pusha, and I'm consciously going out there trying to prove people wrong, you know. And I mean, there are people who just approach me and they're like, they put their sons away from me, you know, and all that stuff. They stay away from me.
They used to use you to advise us. Don't be like Pusha.
There you go.
Don't be like Pusha.
You know,
that kind of thing.
It was tough for them to distinguish the actor from the character, and that was the challenge.
And what about the girls? You know, they say girls like bad boys, and even in the movie Cry, you know, the girls were liking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did it in real life too?
Oh yeah, in real life it opened those doors where people really wanted to get close to me, to be friends with, and then as it grew and I moved from Pusha into other areas, then it was now not just being my company. They wanted to have a relationship with me and all that. So it opened me to a lot of, you know, and all sizes, all ages, you know.
Wow. Even older.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Those days, I had people who cook and send, you know, they don't know me from Jack. They just know me on TV and stuff like that.
Wow.
You know, and they just want me to, beyond the food now, the food was more like a bait, and come and visit me. You know, my sister owns shops in Mokola, provisions. What do you want? We can sort you out and that kind of thing. You know, come home. You know, so yeah, it has opened those doors. And
these are some of the enjoyments that scientists will not enjoy, you know.
Yeah, but not enjoyment.
Yeah, some of them are bad enjoyment.
It can, you know, get you. I mean, look at this lady who, I was in the same room with Kula, Beku, Aqua, and then Obo when they at Commonwealth, and there's this lady who I met at an event and said she wanted me to mentor his I think 10-year-old boy, because the area in which they live, bad boys and stuff. So I should mentor him. I said, okay, so she took my number. And then back a week or two later, a number calls me, and I even had difficulty trying to tell who it was. Then she reminded me, oh, that party. Blah, blah. I said, oh, yeah, where's the boy? I said, oh, she was just beginning the conversation, so that next time she calls, and I asked if the boy said he's going to play ball. We talk small. Next time she called, I said, oh, the boy, they say, oh, he just sent it. I'm like, maybe say maybe you won't make a mentor your boy. That's just say no. This woman be aside. I block her there.
It be trap. She sets for you. So very soon she will say, come and visit the boy.
She changed her number and all that, So if she kept doing that. She said, "What is my favorite soup and what all that and that." So I just frustrated. I just told her something, and then can you believe the woman cooked basket full? I mean, not be small session. Then she brought it to Commonwealth. I was there. That I had moved from Commonwealth to International Student Hostel. Then I beg who cousins, killers, hey, push us, Charlie, some your woman be bring us. Hey, we woman, my woman. My woman that. So some woman be your woman be say he bring you. Charlie comes is the spread. Charlie, go to me the zoo soup. Charlie zoo soup. All the protein
zoo
inside.
Soup, like everything inside.
Everything day. I said, we woman. He said, oh, I tell him, say, you left here, you did ish. I said, oh, killers, why you tell him so? Charlie, I did no way. Just moments later, the call comes through. Then the woman, normally she will try and speak, she's typical Ghana. She try and speak the English side, just make her not say, she don't say Mokola, but she don't belly, but she'll mix the Ghana. But this time when I picked the call, she was like, Kwe, Owula, me ofemi kwa shia. It's like, if you were full up, bro. Yeah. Okay.
That's
Charlie,
all.
as the cat them, I know say this woman, she can come to international hostel. It's the type of woman who go like, hey, Adjetey. So after telling me about it, I cooked you food, blah blah. She can say anything, and anybody can believe it. Because she was peeved, she was hurt that I lied to her and all that. So I mean, when she cut the line, no, I left the campus. I left campus.
Oh, okay. I went you don't even want to see her.
So Claire's come and say, Charlie, so they throw her. So I don't care what you do. They try their brothers.
They finish out.
They finish out, But these are some of the things, and you have to be careful that it's fun, it's exciting when people, want to get close to you, just because of what you do and all that. But there are lines that you should be careful that when you cross, you must be ready to face the consequences.
Right. Right. And I hear you met your wife on set.
On set, yeah.
When you were doing
Things to Do for Love. Yep.
What was her role? What was she doing there?
So she was a friend of Feb. Your Feb's character was the late Vincent Macaulay, who played Max, Max's sister. Max's girlfriend's, friend.
Okay.
So she was in her company, and I just thought that these two girls were always together, very comported, even in the addiction and how they talk. You realize that these are people with Adjetey Anang, from homebred kind of thing. And I just kind of admired their company and got close to them, and we started talking and blah blah. And Things to Do for Love, we were like a family, and so we all had, we were able to connect as a family. And so when later on we met on campus at Legon, and I was like, excited to see you, and then that's where the friendship started building, and then he blossomed into something else. And that
was like years later, or there now you guys started
no. I mean, when we were on the Things to Do for Love set, it was more like a family, brother, sister kind of thing. But then after on campus, then the friendship developed when we met, because we already know each other on the set of Things to Do for Love. So that's where it picked up on campus.
So that means when you guys were acting Things to Do for Love, you were students in University of Ghana.
Yes, all of us. Before I went into University of Ghana, and I was continuing. I think the first year we started a whole year before the following year. Then I went to University of Ghana. So I had started making waves in terms of the character that I played.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Now there are some actors that they play a role. They play the role so well that that's the only thing people know them for.
That's right.
Someone like Michael Scofield.
Yeah,
he's only known for Prison Break. Even if he's playing other roles in other movies, it's
I know
those kind of things.
I know.
Did you ever have that kind of fear that this is all you'll be known for? Like they'll only know you as Adjetey, okay, Pusha. Okay, that's it.
I did, because of after Things to Do for Love, all producers who were getting me scripts wanted to play something similar to that character because
Bad
they're
boy.
like, Charlie, that's the character that, I can play well and to sell fast for them and all that. But, I understood that. But then also I didn't want to be captured in a box where I'm like, this is the only thing I was good at. I mean, there are people who have like the Jim Carreys and Steve Martins and who have specifically, kept to that. There are people who also do, I think the first time I saw Schwarzenegger play comedy, I thought it was a bit awkward because all these muscles they do comedy,
check like
some,
the Rock
that kind of thing, So I didn't want to be cut out for that. I think that I had more to give in terms of varied roles and characters. So I gradually started, rejecting some of the scripts, and rather doing things that were not pusher-like, so that sense of variety is there to open more to more opportunities. And that's what it is.
So basically, you went through some kind of rebranding.
Yes, exactly. I did. I had to intentionally do that. Otherwise, Charlie, as for them, they are ready to give you the same. Yeah, they're happy.
Like how it's affecting some people, like Patience Ozoko, always playing witch or wicked stepmom or something.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's a personal choice and personal decision you'd have to make if you want to go ahead, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
you didn't want that.
Yeah.
Because your character and the pusher character was totally different.
That's right.
If they were similar, you could have felt free.
Yeah, but I also feel that just for variety, it places you, it gives you more options, that other people can also get you to do other roles, and it just opens you to more opportunities. That's what I believe. Yeah.
Right. Now, your collaboration with Shirley Frimpong-Manso.
That's right.
You've acted. You've been on her production a couple of times, playing different roles.
Yeah.
How did that collab come
So at the first day that I had a call from Shirley, I mean, I've heard of the name, but I didn't know her. And then she says that, well, this is Shirley Frimpong-Manso's Para Productions, but she's been observing from behind the scenes, and she told herself that whenever she goes into mainstream production, I'll be one of the characters that she'd want to work with. And then she started giving me a history of a production that I did at the National Theatre, and then I did at the drama studio. And I was like, wow, she's been following my performances. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. So now I get it. And that's where the journey started. And then I'd already built some, I think that everybody must have something that serves as a trademark, sort of, where when your name is mentioned, you're known for something. You're known for something that is very positive in building whatever industry you're building ourselves. And so one of the things that I was very conscious about was my timing and discipline on set, and so that this was something that had also intrigued Shirley, and part of which she wanted me on board, and so I kept that momentum going. He gave me another channel to open it up even more, and then that's how the journey started with her.
Which role or which movie, which movie character would you say so far? You've done a lot of movies. Which one would you say so far is your favorite of all time?
Oh boy, that's my favorite of all time. That would be tough. So that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a split one between a stage production I did and shall we go hard? Go hard. Maybe that one and Gold Coast Lounge. Gold Coast Lounge. It was the black and white.
Yeah.
It was on Netflix for a while, and then the stage one will be Desert Dreams. The reason why that production, because it took everything out of me. And I love challenges like that because it pushes me further. Why this production? Because the production was set in the desert, National Theatre, and we had wood floor, but we had to make the audience believe we're walking on sand. Okay. And during the day we're being blasted by the scorching sun, and how do we react to the scorching sun? And then at night we're cold and chilly and all that. And I mean, your senses will have to be active. I remember from the beginning of the production was 2 hours, 5 minutes. My toe, my big toe, I raised it up and never put it down for 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Why?
Because I had given the impression I had a cut on my toe.
Okay.
And there was no way I was going to drop it. Now, anytime that I dropped my toe, I needed to react with pain because then the sand particles would have entered and would hurt me. So this was how present I needed to be because the audience were watching. Somebody crack would there say, hey, the toe we raise for 12 go feet, they can watch it. So every time I come there, they watch my toe. See, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and when I do that, even unconscious, I need to react. Even though there's no sand. And I thought that it was such a test of character for an actor to be so present, especially where there's no cuts and retakes, you know, it's just live performance. And I thought I'll give that too. And that's why. Gold Coast Lounge, because I thought that it was a different genre. And the fact that we had opportunity to speak our local dialect and something that I've been craving for because sometimes we sound too much like the West and we want to be like the West. But I think that it gives us opportunity to remind ourselves of how authentic our language is. And it's not everything that the Hollywood movies will explain to us. Some of the phrases that they use has a direct link to their history, who they are in nature. If we talk some line or two we do here, we do write the subtitles. It'd be okay, you know. Yeah. It also makes us ours. You know, this is ours, and so I thought beyond the genre of the story giving a metaphor of what the Gold Coast was, and in other words, what Ghana has become was a powerful subject that. So despite the subject, and then the role that I was also playing and all that, and so I think that I'll give it these two.
Okay, these two. Yeah. Now stage play. I've always wondered how. I've tried acting before. Okay. I was in the drama club when I was in like class 4, class 5.
Nice.
Yeah, and in senior high school, I joined the drama club only because they rehearse after class.
Okay.
And it's after class that you have to go to the house and go and scrap. So I joined the drama club to escape the scrapping. But then one thing that usually boss my mind, especially with the stage performances, I know that with the movies and stuff, you can cut and you make a mistake and you laugh about it and stuff. But then live stage for 2 hours, 1.5 hours, and you need to remember your lines. If you don't remember, everyone is watching you and they will see that you do yawa.
That's right.
How do you guys memorize? How do you memorize all your lines?
I mean, it's. I think that over time you get used to it. There are other techniques to it. I mean, sometimes people will use acronyms and stuff like that, you know, because they can't really remember, and there are ways to it. But then we have the ones that you can't, you know, change. Surprised with flabbergasted because it's a writing style of the writer. So when you look at the likes of Wole Soyinka, Amata Edu, they all have their styles because they are looking at number of beats in I mean, if surprise is 2 beats, flabbergasted 4. Okay. The moment you change one and you don't put it right, it changes the rhythm of and that tells you that no, this is not a Wole Soyinka style. This is not Amata Edu style, you know. So they are particular about the words that they've put in there. It's not that you know grammar more than them, but they know why they're choosing this. And therefore, those people, they kind of get offended when you change their words for them, whether it's by mistake or intentional, unless you seek approval that you want to adapt their, you know, story a bit. So it has to be clear. But you can't take their production out there and change their. You can't even get into legal implications.
So even if you forget something
so you have
small,
to chew the lines.
You chew.
You have to get the lines. I mean, that one, no joke. Yeah. Then there are those that are flexible, where you learn in context. And so, I mean, you know that in this scene, then you know they vibe well, you know, so tension day. I mean, you know, have an idea of what I was telling you, but I may not necessarily get the exact lines that I said, but because I know what's happening, I can put in my own words to make it meaningful. Otherwise, some other directors also prefer it even when you use your own words because then it's authentic coming from you and it's more natural than trying to remember a line that you want to say. So there are 2 ways. There are those that are flexible that you learn in context so that you don't have to say the words, verbatim. But of course, the published texts, mostly would ask you to do word for word.
Like maybe you are doing a Shakespeare play.
Those kind of
things. You have to be word for word. For Lenham.
Yeah, because
If they give you the script, how long does it take before like production starts?
so, I mean, ideal scenario is that the minimum should be a month. I mean, look, the West guys are getting scripts a year ahead and stuff. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, they're getting the scripts a year ahead. And the reason is that we want, by the time this production comes out, you have eaten the character, you are embodied with the character, and that's why the output is really good. We don't have that luxury. People give you a script today, tomorrow they say they are shooting a restaurant scene in scene 5. I'm like, Massa, the scripts about no read finish. They say, oh, but you be actor, what that? I was like, Charlie, I need to even read the story to know what the subject is.
Yeah.
Get to know my character, do my character analysis. There's some characters that you need to even research on. So I may have to go to maybe 37 military, the barracks to find out from the military guys, Charlie, how do they operate, even in their stance? When do they attention? How do they even? We take things for granted where we think that everything is cool. Even salute, sometimes we get it wrong. So, you know, they do things like that. In uniform, there are things that are not accepted, you know, and every now and then we sort of project them in ways that they are like, and they are part of our audience. I remember there was a production that was done and a doctor came to watch. And like after the production, I said, Adjetey, Charlie, you guys, they mess up the professional. The hospital scene, the setup in the ward, it would look like they go do brain surgery. Meanwhile, they were treating malaria.
Okay.
You know, so if we don't allow ourselves to research, and these things take time. And that's why a minimum of a month is okay, because I have to learn my lines, understand my line, do my research, blah, blah. And Charlie, you must, so that when I come out, I'm solid.
Yeah.
But we they rush things. You know, that's why our storylines are predictable. Even our character, there's no death, 111B, that kind of thing. So if you see productions that are well done, they give you that luxury to prepare well, so that you don't have those issues. Yeah, and I think that's what we need to keep doing.
Has there ever been a moment where you had like you're acting 2 movies within the same period? So like you go here and go and act this movie and then the next day you are here acting this movie.
It's happened before. I mean, those days it happened before, but it's something that I know I told myself never to ever do it again.
Why?
Because what it does to you is that you're not able to fully give of 100%. Look, no matter what, our bodies is our instruments. I'm using the same emotions for this card. I'm using the same. Charlie, you break down. You can't give your best always, and so you have to focus on one and give it all you've got. If you split yourself, like Charlie, you'll be exhausted. You'll be exhausted, and therefore you're not fresh for both, and you end up limiting what you could have done if you were focusing on one.
Yeah. And talking about the kind of scripts that you have to chew and stuff. Have you ever forgotten lines?
Oh yeah. As for that one is always
on a stage play, or not like the one that
stage. Stage happens, but that's what builds you up in the experience. And how do you get out of a sticky spot like that when everybody is watching? It's happened before. I mean, when I got lost, we took the late Godwin Koti to get me out, because he put in some line for me to remember. But that is why you need to be present at all times. And even before you mount the stage, there are exercises that you need to do. People take these things for granted, because you're going to live show a character's life in just maybe an hour, 45 minutes to about 2 hours. And you have to get it right. Everything must be 100%, and therefore you can't be ill prepared, and stage especially. And so once you have an understanding of the story and you even get stuck because of experience, you can be able to get out of it. And once you understand what's happening in the scene, as I said, you can put your own words and then come back sort of, so that you don't take anything away from the story. Yeah.
And when during the acting, another thing that I've always been wondering, like, do you people catch feelings?
Yeah.
Like, you're acting a role, you're in the character, and you're playing a role. Let's say you and Yvonne Okoro,
okay,
playing a role, you're husband and wife. This scene, you guys are kissing. This scene, you're doing this. Like, do you guys catch feelings that maybe after production, then you guys will be linking up and stuff? Does it happen?
I mean, not as in when we are playing the character, but because of the fact that we're playing husband and wife, and sometimes these productions we take a time to shoot, month, 2 months, especially series. Series can take years even. And so you're seeing each other every day, the ice is broken, there's chemistry building up because of the roles that you play. And you get to even chat, and then before you realize you're building some kind of bond.
Yeah.
And you have to be conscious about it when it starts. I mean, Charlie, it's a human institution. Definitely, those things are bound to happen.
Yeah.
But you must know that you're playing a character. And once action stops and we're living our lives, it's up to you to know. I mean, the two adults involved here, and I think that we must be responsible for the choices we're making, because it easily can lead to a relationship.
Right.
And we have to, and that's why we need to be responsible, because in some cases where series that is taking years for, some directors would be very, very sensitive to people who are playing maybe husband and wife or have a relationship, and you realize that even after cut and camera done with wrap for the day, they are still holding hands going to the hostel or the hotel.
Yeah.
Some directors will tell them no relationship, cut it out. Because the danger is that tomorrow one of them will come in bitter, because maybe they realize that me way they profess my love to you. You then the costume girl get something to do.
Okay.
We are supposed to play intimate parts. Definitely, if you come say action and I tell you, Charlie, I'm in love with you, and your mind is like, so that's all the costume girl they show. It's tough. These are emotions, and you're using your own emotions for the character. It's tough, especially when you've given you're like, Charlie, this is it. I mean, let's build this, and then you realize that, Charlie, you've been the guy did lie you can't be in that position to really genuinely express your genuine emotion, because in your mind, this guy, you hate him.
Yeah.
If not for the character's sake, I'll slap him, that kind of thing. So in order for the director to get the best out of you, he said that no relationship after 3 weeks or after this thing, you can go and kill yourself. I don't care, because it's a very sensitive thing. It happens. But I'm saying that we're not saying that it mustn't happen. I mean, people find each other, in different circumstances and places, but you be responsible that, Charlie, I'm in this, or I'm not. This is where you have to have the understanding. It's just free for, we are just going to create problems.
And when you are acting with somebody that you know is married, let's say, and you guys know each other. Let's say you know Yvonne Okoro's husband.
Right.
You are cool with them. You go to their house and stuff. And now you are coming to act a movie, and there's a kissing scene and things.
Right, he was before those, he acted there in different matter.
He be acting, but some feelings.
Yeah, I'm bound to. I mean, but it's also a discipline. You know in your mind that this is a character that you're playing, and what you do with it after is where the issue is.
Yeah.
That, Charlie, this is it. It's done. I'm living my life. I'm going back to my girlfriend. Do yours, and the understanding that we are responsible. There's nothing going to happen, and you also have to trust yourself. That and when you sense that things are, try and bring in the barriers, because as I said, Charlie, but be fine with it. Definitely things would
acting go hard.
Oh yeah, I mean it's harder for the indisciplined, but
Because I see some kind of sex scenes, and usually when they are doing sex scenes, how many people are in the room? Because it looks like it's just the two people.
Yeah, I mean, there's what we call the closed set, where we have very minimal people there. So director, cinematographer mainly. And the others sound, and they set up their things. Cinematographer and director will take care of this and then leave, because it's a bit, they'll show body and stuff like that. Yeah. Even though they try as much as possible to protect the more private parts with tubes and things. Unless most of the time when we see in Hollywood movies where you see part of with the lady's breast and kind of thing, those ones are different. I think that for the most part, majority of our movies do not really go in that deep. I think one or two, but mostly you have tubes that camera angles, doesn't really tell you whether there's something on or not, and we're able to escape with that. Even kissing. I mean, there was a scene where today people think that I kissed Nashoko in perfect picture. But I placed my lip just the side here. And we're twisting and turning, but the camera angle does the trick. It's just like how people, they punch people. You believe that it's made impact, but the angle that you shoot it from, you believe. And people think that we're passionately kissing, but it wasn't lip contact. So we can get away with some of these effects and ways, but there are those who also believe that if we're representing real life, we're depicting, make believe. It has to be so believable that people will not have to question it. So they'll ask for people to do kissing for real and those things. Those ones too are there, but it all depends on you whether you want to go for it or not.
Can there be a time where, let's say, you're supposed to kiss somebody, but then your wife will stand in for the person, so they'll take the angle, they'll dress your wife like the person, and take the angle so that your wife will do the kissing. After that, she will go. And you guys
No. That doesn't happen. I mean, that doesn't happen. No.
That one doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't happen. Because I mean, no, it doesn't.
So no matter what, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah. To do.
I have a gift. I have a gift for you.
Really?
Yeah, this one.
My goodness.
This is Kiss strawberry scented lubricant.
Ish.
Yeah.
I see.
Yes, it's condom friendly, water based. It smells nice too.
Oh, okay.
Has some nice strawberry scent. Nice. And I have this one because of the role you played in things we do for love. We have condoms here too, and there's a cap over here. This is my gifts.
Oh, Charlie, thank you so much. I appreciate this. I appreciate this. Nice one.
Sure.
Nice one.
Now let's go to I think 3 years ago. It was in 2022. You released a book.
Yes.
Adjetey Anang, Story of Faith, Imperfection, and Resilience. What made you decide to write that book?
I mean, 2 main levels. I thought that one, people really didn't know Adjetey Anang. They knew the characters that I played more. And I wanted to have some kind of an intimate relation with my fan base to know me more. Because I think that there's perceptions out there that some of us in the limelight or who are called celebrities or whatever can do no wrong. And that's why sometimes when we go off the mark and we do something, it becomes sensational and then, very scandalous because, this guy, if we say, that kind of thing, because, we can do no wrong. And so I wanted to break that ice to know that, Charlie, I'm human like any other person out there. The mistakes that you struggle with, the weaknesses that I struggle with, I also have my share of it, And then also to serve as a sort of mentor and example for those who are stepping into the limelight or those who are already in the spotlight, who are having issues to deal with fan base. Look, in the world that we are in, you'd be amazed how attention that we get, not just in our inboxes of people, people will come to the inbox and say that, just try and get me a role. Let your director give me a role. I'll do anything you want, anything for you. I'm like, anything. Those offers are just there, enticing. They can, And then there are those who you run into. This girl that I ran into from Togo, who a silver business saw me for the first time, and then she grabbed me. Very strong, muscle lady. She grabbed me, said she won't go. She was speaking her French, and she was crying. It took people from the silver bed, to come and take care of that one. Took Wahala. Wow. Said she won't let go. I mean, people are dying to meet us and all that and be in our fold. And I thought that we've not been sensitized enough to deal with our fan base, and therefore we will keep repeating the same mistakes, having relationships here and there, and it becomes messy before we realize some people have even got into issues where people have gotten pregnant and giving birth but it was not prepared for and all that. And I thought that, look, let me live by example. These are some of the mistakes that I have made. And this is how you can prevent these things from happening, so that we position ourselves better and focus on the craft more. Because whatever that happens are just as a result of that which comes out of the space in which we are. But we have to be responsible for it, so that we rather focus more on the craft, because that's what will sell us. That's what will put us on the map elsewhere, and then sort of direct the eyeballs to our space. And so for me, these are the 2 major reasons why I wanted to put the book out there. Yeah.
People usually hold celebrities in high esteem, high regard, high
Yeah.
standard, everything.
Yeah.
Like even if someone can insult you and you're expected not to insult the person because if you insult, Charlie, select pan, you insult somebody like this. In an instance like that, have you ever been through something like that where someone maybe verbally abused you, maybe in public or on social media, then you retaliated, or maybe
I reacted in the person's inbox.
Okay.
Where I put the person right. I didn't insult. I just put the person right that, well, what he had forgotten was that this was what was the actual issue. And so I corrected him and told him that he should be careful, some of the words you use, especially when you don't have all the facts and all that. So you wouldn't have me react. Look, sometimes some of the things that people say it takes a lot of courage not to reply back.
Yeah.
Some of my people, they'll give it to you. You can't go on to somebody's like Lydia Foster's second saying that you get it in excess. You know what I'm saying?
She will give you. Lydia Foster, she will give
and
you.
put you, but of course we all have our temperaments. We all have our our makeups and things. I will be able to hold it back in and go and talk to you in the back.
Yeah.
Some people, and the thing is that some people also need to be told it in their face there and then for them to check themselves and all that. So,
right.
But especially because of the position in which we are, we have to be careful to not to play the same tune as the people who are, because we're supposed to be more of like try and set the right example. So that we don't repeat the same thing that people are doing out there. Yeah. So
when you were writing your book, were you not scared that like you're putting some part of your privacy out there? Maybe people will judge you or insult you and stuff like that. Were you not scared?
No, I mean it wasn't like I was out there to just go and fabricate things, and that was not me. This is me, and the thing is that people know me. I mean, can you imagine where I am all, I go out there, especially when you have to talk to your youth, and there's so many events and programs that we are called upon to talk to youth, to encourage them, and all that as mentors. And I go out there all goody and all that, and they don't know this side of me where I've made mistakes, I've had relationships, on social media and all that, etc. And maybe a part of one of the persons that I've had, maybe just, social media flirtations is in the audience. Yeah. In his mind, it's like, this hypocrite. Kwasiawe. After all that, look at what you are telling them, but meanwhile, you know. So I needed to shed that off, that I can't be a hypocrite and create this, a certain scenario that I'm all goody, I'm the great mentor and all that, when I have, things in my cupboard and I've done some mistakes before. Yeah. I needed to let them know that, look, this is what I was in, this is how I got out, and this is the focus, and I don't want you to repeat the same mistake that I did, so that you be in a better position and standing than me, so that we move this, space forward. And so, yes, there was the danger that this could, backfire in a lot of ways, where how we like sensationalism, and so people want to carry this on and mad the thing and add their own thing to it. But as Charlie, I was prepared to know that this is just a history of mine, and I moved on way back, and more importantly, to really steer young people who have so much potential and talent that they are not delayed in their climb to the top, that in no time they can hit it and make better choices than we have made, so that we push the space forward.
And in the book, you said a lot. At the same time, you didn't say certain things.
Yes.
Like you kept certain things very, very vague.
Yes.
Even when you were talking about some endorsement deals you had to turn down and stuff, you didn't mention the brands' names, political parties that
that's right.
You didn't mention the names.
Yeah.
Why?
It was intentional, because I didn't want people to be petty and lose focus of what I was doing. And it is not in the meticulous details that I was giving that, for me is this what happened. This is how I dealt with it. This is what happened. This is how I was weak and I got out, then the details of it for me did not really matter, because then I think that it makes us lose focus on the intentionality of why this book had been written. And I wanted the focus to always be, people's focus. But even that, people still try to,
they try.
Because, as it is, we must find something that
agenda must agenda.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of thing, and twist this one. Yeah. And especially because you don't remember that Yvonne Nelson's had come out before
Yvonne
me.
Nelson's own came out.
They were expecting. I mean, people came to tweet in my feed and like, Charlie, if you don't come and tell us that you and Jackie have a child or something, we will not buy the book. I mean, Charlie, what you want we can do? There was some filler where people don't know.
Yvonne's own.
Yeah.
The way she name dropped people.
Yeah.
It made everybody have some kind of expectation for yours.
Exactly.
That no, okay.
Exactly.
Since it be like right now, the actors they talk. So since Yvonne can't talk, Adjetey Anang, they can't hear the
people had expectations. If you don't talk this, you don't talk that. I said, Charlie, if I don't be true, I will talk. So you don't go buy that kind of thing, So I just didn't want it to be that kind of thing, and just stick to why I was bringing this story out.
But did Yvonne Nelson's own affect yours in any way?
Oh yeah, I mean, a number of ways where people felt that they expected much more details and all that, and so they kind of were disappointed, and then there are other people who also were like, oh my goodness, you also. All this time thinking about you that you are very you had this expectation and things more like so it made people also look me like, oh, I'm disappointed in you kind of thing. where a couple of people like family would be very, very like that. Because for them it's like staining the family. Actually, people do this for a family billion times past what I do. Just that nobody knows and nobody has told the story.
Yeah.
No, but that's hypocrisy, So if somebody has told that part of the story, I'm not saying that that's who I am. I'm saying that this is where I was at point time in the journey, but I overcome it, and I'm trying to make better choices and all that, and lead a better life. Where when I say I'm mentoring somebody, I know where I've come from and I can mentor. So yeah, it was. I know everybody was happy about it as well.
But since your wife has given her approval,
that's
the only thing that matters.
That's all I needed.
Because she's the one who felt it.
And people will not even think about it. So what the way you're reacting? How do you think she's reacting? We're cool. So what's up? So yeah.
To the endorsements that you turned down, do you still stand by that? Like, still, if political parties move to your, let's say, alcoholic beverage companies move to you for endorsement deals and stuff, are you still turning down?
Oh yeah, there's some that I'll still turn down. I think that we have also moved into a different space now. I mean, then things were much more sensitive when you say you come out and say that I'm with this party, I'm with this person, and that kind of thing. People, to the point where I remember those days when John Dumelo came out, they stopped selling his CDs.
Wow.
If you come to buy a movie, they say Asan. Meanwhile, it's stuck back there because they are just upset that he decided to come out and side with a political party. They said that if he had even just played in neutral, nobody knows where he's fine. But to come out is like insult to. But I mean, people have personal choices so that they must be allowed to make those choices. I think in the advanced world where people like if Clint Eastwood said, "I'm starting with Democrats," if this guy said he's standing from. Because they understand that people must. It's not that because of that, then I'll not sell to you, I'll not do that. I think that places like America are now becoming very, very
flexible.
Not flexible, but they are becoming like what we used to be. Where they are becoming a bit more petty. Right. When you say you belong to here, and then it's all. But that's not what it should be. So, times have changed. There are things that I'll still stick to. There are things that I'll modify. And see how it benefits, because look, I've paid my dues for a while, and I think that if there are ways in which I can have benefits based on the craft that I've built, why not? So it's not let's say like cast in stone. That's no. Of course, when it comes to alcohol and stuff. I'm a bit sensitive to it, because of where I've positioned myself as mentoring young people. I'm involved in a lot of young people and all that, and images sticks. More than words, where I'm encouraging them to stay away from drugs and drinks, and then they see me in an advert and I'm quaffing this alcohol, like, hey, Uncle Adjetey, you said we shouldn't drink, but we saw you in the advert drinking. That sticks. It's a contradiction to what you're trying to encourage them to, even at that age, So you have to be careful who you're sort of committed to, and so that you don't mess with young people's minds and all that. Get them to that level where anything you have to do, some things you have to do privately, and that's your choice. Yeah.
So does that mean there's no chance of you, let's say, standing for MP or something, or doing anything political?
I haven't really taken a decision on not standing, ever. You never know. Things may happen, and maybe I just feel like, look, this is what I can offer my community through this, and why not? It's something that I could consider. Yeah, right. It's not a no. Yeah, at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, recently we saw that you signed with Lynx.
Yeah.
What was the deal like, and why would you sign?
Yeah, I thought that, on two levels. First of all, I thought that I was doing too many things on my own. I needed time to focus on the art and the craft more than concerns about negotiations, my scheduling, the hotel I'm going to be, if we're traveling somewhere, travel plans, whether a car, plane, all those things. I think there were bigger things.
Okay.
And I needed some kind of a grounded team that have walked this path before and can add value to what I was doing and where I was headed, and also the fact that I also didn't want to. I think that beyond that, there were things that I couldn't also, bring on board for me myself. Lynx, for example, would have dealt with a lot of companies and all that, so it's easier for them to engage these people and say, look, based on our track record and this, we've curated this piece of project or whatever that Adjetey could come on board as an influencer or a brand. They know what they want and all that, so they can do things that will add value. I in my own space would not think of something like that, because I'm thinking of more the craft and the art, but they bring in the business element where they can churn things out and also come on board in varied ways, and I thought that will add more to what I was doing.
So they are basically handling everything else apart from the crafts.
Exactly.
For you. They are doing the business side.
The business side, how to project me out there. What are some of the things that I should churn out to keep my, my fan base make me active on social media spaces and all that. So they look into all that.
And is it working?
Oh yes, it is. It's made me very relaxed. It's made me focus on what I need to focus. I don't exert myself too much. People, you know how it is. Like, people get on set, call time is 7, they'll start shooting at 2 p.m. So I'll get there at 7 when you say 7. I have to sit there and waste the whole day. But management comes in, a team goes ahead of time. I don't come. They get there at 7, they look at it, Master, this thing you go start like to don't come. That kind of thing. So okay. I can do other things or focus on the things that, so I don't have to waste time at my age, where every year is like 10 years, so I have more time on my hands now. Go sit on a production where, and it adds value to me too, that, I don't just come up to anything. Work has been done ahead of time before I come in. It really helps the deal.
Were they the ones who approached you, or you approached them?
I think Richie had always wanted to venture into management, and not just musicians, but in the actors as well.
Right.
And he like similar to Shirley, he had said that if he did, I'll be one of the persons that he would consider, because he's also watched me over time, and thought that I would be I'll add more value even to the team and all that. So he approached me, and that's where we took it off.
Awesome. Right now, most of your colleagues are now venturing into social media like YouTube and stuff. We are seeing a lot of producers now acting movies and then putting it on YouTube. Right. It's really booming in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, there are so many people writing stories and stuff. Are you considering doing something like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I think that we should embrace the times that we're in, and so that you're not left out. I think that we have to know where the attention is going to, the focus, because those are the areas where we're going to generate our numbers, and we shouldn't look down on certain platforms as we're Munkwa, Charlie. The age in which we are, if this is where the focus is, we need to, prepare and cook things that meet that spaces. And if you look at people like I was going to say Shirley, Aspire Productions with Shirley, they now created a channel on YouTube because that's where the demand is, and it's thriving. So it's not a space where it's worth considering.
Yeah.
And the faster you do that, I think that it's better for all of us. And so I think that people should really pay attention to that space.
So you should expect some Adjetey Anang TV. Maybe once a month you give us some.
Why not?
Some nice movies.
That would be nice.
Right. We'll be looking forward to that.
Awesome.
This question is just for fun.
That's fine.
Nobody should come in. It's just for fun.
Right.
If you're to marry, let's say you're not married.
Okay.
If you're to marry any of the actors or actresses that you've worked with, who would it be and why?
That's memorable. Who would it be and why? Hey, who would it be and why? Charlie, it would be tough. I have a lot of
You can choose first wife, second wife.
It's I don't know. There's Nadia, there's Jackie, there's Lydia is my sister. Lydia will not come in. Lydia is my sister. There's Nanama McBrown. Yvonne's, Charlie go hard. I mean, you see, I think that maybe to reciprocate, she's the only one who's been bold enough to come out to say that. I think she was questioned one time, and she picked me, Nanama McBrown. And people said it will be Adjetey. I think they asked her also something about who, if she was to kiss somebody real, happen, who would it be? And they suggested to her, and John Dumele said, no, John Dumele, they be Obe Jami, that kind of thing. And then Lewe Obe Prami, that kind of thing. Then she chose me, that it would be me, kind of thing. So maybe in reciprocation, it would be Nanawa McBrown. Okay. I just because of her versatility, I believe that she has so much. She's we've seen her how she hosts as well as her acting and her brand representations and all that. I think that she's a versatile lady, and I just feel that she's so passionate about everything that she does, and when she comes out and she gives it all, she's just she gives it very, very well. And for that matter, if it would be, it would be her in the acting fraternity.
And the male actors, when it comes to, let's say, there's a movie role where you and somebody are supposed to get in a ring and fight. But then this time it's no tricks. Pound for pound. Pound for pound. Choose your opponent. Who will you choose?
Charlie, I don't get grudge wrestling. But maybe to be Acrobato.
You want to kill our uncle. You will not choose somebody that you can. Okay.
Yeah, he's told me that he beat me. So I want us to
fight. Yes. Physical. Nice one. Now we're almost to the end. Right. Spirited Arts.
Yeah.
Is it still?
So Spirited Arts is now Meraki Arts Africa.
Okay.
We're still operating big time.
Right. Yeah. What do you do?
So it's a creative company where we use performance practices to sort of help project or amplify messages. So for example, if we're talking about water, hygiene, agric business, how do we curate stories using performance practices to sort of amplify that message. And so, for example, the projects that we're on, which we're just almost wrapping up with MasterCard Foundation and Springboard, is changing mindsets in agriculture and introducing young people to ATVET, making agri look hip in the hinterlands, where people have opportunities there, but because of westernization and urbanization, they all want to come back. Businesses that cannot be sustained, that parents have sustained because they don't think that farming is hip, But when you look across the value chain, there's so much that you can get from. Recently, I was hearing that even there's a French company that is using flour for the stuff. And the flour they're looking for is generated from cassava. So, and it's in demand, but people even haven't realized this. And it's just take the cassava out, go in on the wayside and sell. And that's where it ends. But how do we add more value to that? Through the drama sketches that we churn out to make them know that they're sitting on gold and we can make things happen. So basically that's what we do. Okay. And we're a team of professionals. And one of the things that is unique about us is that anybody who joins must be well versed in their field. So we have PhDs and people from KPMG and stuff like that on the board. So when it comes to maybe our finances, I'm not a one-man show where maybe my wife and I co-founded it, where I'm the financial controller, I'm a director, I'm the this, I'm that, because, Ghana people, everything for be cut cost and things, but then we shoot ourselves in the foot where we don't even know how to deal with taxes and all the intricacies when it comes to finance. And we need a guru in that, an expert in that field who will guide in terms of even investment to make, as if we leave us, what should I have Range Rover now? Eating into the capital and all that. Yeah. But we need that discipline. Therefore, these professionals who come onto board are bringing their expertise on board to sort of really structure us in a way as a business world. And I think that that's one thing that we fall short of as creatives, where we lose sight on the business side, where we can leverage on so much and make so much, because out there our counterparts are doing massive stuff and they're generating income from different sources. And that's what Meraki Arts Africa stands for.
Right. Do you have sponsors or everything is from your pocket?
Oh, so I mean, when we go into projects, of course they are funded, for example. And so for this project, for example, that I said we're wrapping up, called the Ghana Grows, is funded by the MasterCard Foundation, and other partners and stakeholders. So it's once we're ready to go, you give them the budget, and then whatever it is, and then we are funded and we take off. Yeah.
Right. Nice one. Now we are left with only three things.
That's right.
The first one, you look into that camera,
right,
and whoever is watching you, you mentor a lot of young
That's
people.
Right.
Just give us one random life advice.
So many are coming to my mind now, but probably just letting you know that stay in the process. I mean, we need to stay in the process. I think that in our world today, there are so many quick fixes. We want to jump the gun. We want to be a Tom Cruise overnight or a Jackie Appiah overnight. But there are lessons that we need to learn in the process, and don't be quick to wanting to be a star or a celebrity overnight. Prepare yourself, learn. You have a platform like your social media spaces. Don't just give us selfies of your bag and your designer shoes and food you're eating and where you are. What you say you're passionate about, if you're in this creative space industry, I want to come onto your page and see that you've done a sketch of 30 seconds of a scene where you're angry with somebody, you're expressing, that, or any other scene. Let us see a bit of that, because that's your sell point. Somebody just coming onto your platform like, wow, the way she expressed that character, look, let's consider for this role or for this brand and stuff like that. So let us do our homework and learn and ready for an opportunity. Like me, I was prepared. I didn't know where the opportunity came from. I happened to read a script on when somebody didn't turn up, and that's how my story began. But if I wasn't prepared and I wasn't well versed in that area behind the scenes, I would have flopped and I would have missed the opportunity. So let's stay in the process. We're still cooking yam for about 8 minutes. It hasn't changed to 2 minutes for a reason, because some things are very traditional. We need to learn before we come out and deliver. Yeah, so that would be it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The second one is ask me one question if you have a question for me.
So what is the reason behind avoiding your full
my face
in
being out there.
Being out there.
I was, before content creation, I was a musician.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing music. A lot of people kind of knew me.
Right.
I won a VGMA award on Sang in 2019.
Okay.
I performed on stage at VGMA.
Okay.
I have songs with people like Edem, Episode, Medical, a lot of people.
Right.
So they know me.
Okay.
Also, I was on radio on YFM.
Okay.
So they know, like, I'm known.
Right.
And I didn't want to come and be, people would now come and laugh at me that, Charlie, hey, musician, superstar, pan, they do this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was why I hid my identity. And I hid my voice too. That was the main reason.
Yeah, he added some mystery about it, and that's solid. That's solid. Awesome.
Thank you. And also thank you for passing through. The last one there is the signing out. I usually sign out by saying yeah, then you say yapon. Yeah, right. So that's how we sign out.
All right, awesome.
But I beg, do one thing for me. Make a talk. Apusha, then you say Akula.
All right. No, yeah.
Apusha, Akula. All right, thank you so much for passing through. This is it's been an honor, seeing my superstar from childhood days. So I'm so grateful.
Pleasure
for you being here on my platform. Yeah, go and buy his book, and also check him out on social media. The man is doing great things. Yes, Adjetey Anang has been my guest for today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share the link so that others will also learn wisdom from here. And no, yapon. Thank you.